Hi everyone, welcome to this week's short attention span webinar where we study the best of the best and we go over what are the best of the best doing. So Kelly, number one, they're staying ahead of the customer. You've heard me say this before. My friend Joe Webb, who I saw at Graph Expo last week, said one time, he said, it's more important to stay ahead of the customer than it is the competition. Printers are famous for saying, finding out that somebody got a press and they have to have the same press, so they buy it. Instead of saying to the customer, where are you going? How do we stay ahead of the customer?
We talk to them on a very regular basis. We are regularly having reviews with them to find out not only how we're doing, but as you just said, where they're going, what kinds of projects will they be working on in the future, where do they see print integrating in with their whole mix of all the things they're trying to accomplish, and do I have the equipment and the skills and the products and services to satisfy that now, or do I need to go out and make some new investments? So those are all really, really important questions. And again, I'll say this, I am shocked at how many companies out there are not conducting reviews on a regular basis and couldn't answer those questions about their customers.
Right. So staying ahead of the customer, where are you going in 2015? What are your biggest challenges? You're looking at their press releases, constantly reviewing their website because they're going to throw out a lot of new information. And you want to make sure that you are right there. One of the big reasons why someone buys from you is your knowledge of them and their industry. Number two, the best of the best are sales curious. Sales curious and they're problem solvers. Now that's another way of saying that they're consultative and not just saying, do you guys need any more of those statements or letterhead? Or
Let me get on your bid list.
Yeah, exactly. What they're doing is they're saying, I can help you to solve a business problem. That's what that's all about. Understanding that business problem comes from the research prior to picking up the phone, which is the single most important thing that you can do while prospecting. But they're constantly thinking about how can I help how can I first understand the client's needs, and then how can I solve one of those problems with one of my solutions.
And I think they're also trying to come up with new ways to ask questions that a customer hasn't heard before. I mean, what if you walked into a customer and said, "What would happen if you stopped buying printing altogether?" Those kind of provocative questions that are going to kind of set them off their feet a little bit. I think are they get into really interesting conversations. You're giving me that you're crazy look again, but because I'm looking at you. But seriously, I think we need to be, it's an interesting question. It tells the customer that we understand that print is a piece in the overall marketing mix, and we acknowledge and honor that people are using social media and all other kinds of products out there. So how important is print to them? How do they use it? What are they, where do they see it going, and how do they see using it in the future? And those are just really important, insightful questions to ask.
Next thing up, the best of the best will give a budget to employees for additional training. All employees. This was really interesting when I studied this. We at the NAPL, I'm fortunate because part of my contract says we've got money for you to go and to continue learning. And I've got one of my to-do list items is to go find that opportunity. It might be a conference. It might be an online program or something that's going to help me to continue to grow.
Yeah,
I think that's brilliant. From top to bottom, top executives should be doing some sort of executive coaching. Salespeople should be sharpening their skills, but also broadening. And I think that's a huge part of growth and why they're doing well. The fourth thing is that they're never taking a client for granted. Boy, Kelly, we've beaten this one up. Every client is sacred, and you never want to say, those people love me. You're never at that point, because if that happens, if you say that, Kelly, what's going to happen?
Yeah, if someone else is already in there wooing them away from you, acting like they care, and doing all the things, again, the analogy for me is always like dating. It's like somebody trying to come in and, steal your boyfriend. They're going to act like they want it more, and they very well may want it more. So be defensive, make sure that they know where you are, what you're doing, that you're asking questions, that you're there on a regular basis, not to the point of making a nuisance of yourself, but that you should be on top of everything. You never, ever want to get a client stolen out from under you because you were being complacent.
Right.
What a disaster.
And then finally, the best of the best are focused on the digital file. They've got some sort of an online ordering system where they're either going web to print or storefront or something that they've got the client locked in electronically. And that's how they're getting their repeat business. Once people set up with you electronically, it's very difficult for them to go elsewhere. So that's the
And
thinking
you know
there.
what? And barring that, because I know a lot of you out there are probably going, well, we're really not set up for that. We've decided we're not going to go in that direction right now, and that's fine. But in place of that, just make it so easy for them to do business with you.
Right.
Remove the barriers to doing business. Don't, just make it easy. Just do what you can to make it easy on them, and that will make all the difference in the world.
Right, right. Okay, that's it. That's what the best of the best are doing. So the rest of us can go out there and do those 5 things, and then you can make our list for next time. Kelly, thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Bill.
We'll talk to y'all on another short attention span webinar next week. Bye.